They have touched our hearts, made us smile, and felt like dear friends we grew up with. John Travolta is one of those rare figures whose presence feels familiar even to people who have never met him. On screen, he is joy, confidence, rhythm, and charisma rolled into one unforgettable image. Yet behind the dance floors, applause, and iconic roles lies a quieter reality. At 71, John Travolta lives a life shaped not by spotlight, but by memory. In his Florida home, silence often speaks louder than fame ever did. The walls hold echoes of laughter, love, and loss, reminders of a journey that gave him everything and then asked for more than most hearts could bear. While the world still celebrates his performances, John carries something far heavier, grief layered over decades. His story is not about falling from glory, but about endurance, resilience, and choosing love even after unimaginable loss. Growing up with dreams, larger than his world. John Joseph Travolta was born on February 18, 1954, in Inglewood, New Jersey, the youngest of 6 children in a crowded working-class household. Space was limited, money tighter, and privacy nearly non-existent. His father, Salvatore, worked long hours running a small tire shop, carrying the exhaustion of survival home with him each night. His mother, Helen, was different. A former performer turned drama teacher, she filled their modest home with music, scripts, and encouragement. While the house often felt chaotic, it was also where John first learned the power of performance. School was not kind to him, and teasing followed him daily. But at home he found refuge in imitation, storytelling, and dance. His mother noticed what others missed. She saw not a struggling boy, but a performer waiting for his moment. That belief planted a seed that would change everything. Leaving home before life was ready. By 16, John knew staying meant surrendering his dream. With little money, no safety net, and a determination shaped by necessity, he made a decision that frightened everyone around him. He left school and headed to New York City armed with nothing but hope and raw belief. Life there was unforgiving. He slept wherever he could, worked odd jobs, and attended auditions where rejection came faster than encouragement. Hunger, exhaustion, and loneliness became daily companions. Yet each failed audition hardened his resolve. He wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing escape from limitation, from invisibility, from a life he knew would slowly dim his spirit. In cramped rooms and silent nights, he reminded himself that survival was temporary, but regret could last forever. Every step forward, no matter how small, became proof that leaving home had not been a mistake. The first break, that changed everything opportunity, finally arrived not with grandeur, but with persistence. Touring productions gave John stability, stage experience, and something even more important, validation. Audiences responded to him, not because he was famous, but because he was real. That response carried him west to Hollywood, where the struggle began again from zero. Small television roles followed, but were barely noticeable to most, but monumental to him. Then came the audition that would alter his life forever, when he stepped into the role of Vinnie Barbarino on Welcome Back. Cotter, something clicked. His timing, charm, and natural rhythm leapt off the screen. America noticed immediately. Fame arrived fast, almost violently, transforming him overnight, from an unknown actor into a cultural phenomenon. For the first time, the boy who once fought to be seen had the attention of an entire nation. Becoming the face of a generation's Saturday Night Fever did more than elevate John Travolta. It defined an era. His portrayal of Tony Manero captured youth, ambition, frustration, and hope with startling honesty. The dance floor became a symbol of escape, and John became its embodiment. The world followed every step, every pose, every beat. An Academy Award nomination followed, sealing his place among Hollywood's elite. Then came Grease, a cultural juggernaut that turned him into a global icon. Posters lined bedroom walls, songs dominated radios, and his image became inseparable from joy and movement. Yet behind the scenes, pressure mounted. He was admired, but increasingly boxed in. The industry loved the image more than the artist. With fame came expectation, and with expectation came the quiet fear of being misunderstood and creatively confined. When success begins to slip away. The 1980s tested John Travolta in ways success never had. Films underperformed, critical praise softened, and opportunities became less certain. Roles that once came easily now arrived with hesitation. He faced the uncomfortable truth that Hollywood's affection is conditional. Missed. Opportunities lingered and projects failed to meet expectations. The confidence that once felt unbreakable began to fracture. Yet even during this period, he continued working, learning, adapting. The world labeled it decline, but for John, it was survival. He refused to disappear, even when the spotlight dimmed. Every setback reminded him that reinvention was necessary, even painful. And though few realized it at the time, this quieter chapter was shaping the resilience that would soon bring him back stronger than ever. Reinvention through one bold choice. In 1994, everything changed again. A daring role in Pulp Fiction reintroduced John Travolta not as an icon, but as an actor willing to take risks. Vincent Vega was complex, flawed, dark, and unexpectedly human. Audiences and critics responded with astonishment. The comeback was undeniable. Another Oscar nomination followed, not as nostalgia, but as recognition of growth. Offers returned, financial success followed, and John reclaimed his place, this time on his own terms. He built a life centered on passion rather than validation, indulging his love of aviation and creating a home that reflected freedom rather than excess. Yet even at this renewed peak, personal tragedy loomed, reminding him that success could never shield the heart from pain. Love, family, and unimaginable loss. John's private life brought both his greatest joy and deepest sorrow. His love story with Kelly Preston became his anchor, a partnership rooted in warmth, humor, and devotion. Together, they built a family that grounded him beyond Hollywood. But life tested that foundation mercilessly. The loss of their son Jet in 2009 shattered their world in ways words cannot fully express. Grief reshaped everything. How John saw the world, how he worked, how he loved. Yet even in heartbreak, he chose presence over escape. He leaned into fatherhood, into partnership, into healing where possible. When Kelly later passed away after a private illness, the loss echoed earlier wounds, reopening scars he thought time had softened. Still he stood, for his children, for love, for life, choosing quiet over applause. After decades under relentless attention, John Travolta stepped back, not in defeat, but in intention. He focused on raising his children, protecting their peace, and rediscovering ordinary moments that fame often erases. He continued working selectively, choosing projects that resonated personally rather than professionally. The man who once filled stadiums learned to value silence, routine, and presence. Mornings became about coffee and conversation, afternoons about guidance and support. The world may still see an icon, but those closest to him see a father in a man who has learned that survival is not about noise, but about meaning. His life today is not smaller, it is deeper, shaped by love, memory, and the courage to keep going. The strength that defines his legacy. John Travolta's story is not one of endless triumph or tragic downfall. It is the story of endurance. He danced when the world watched and stood still when the world turned away. He lost deeply, loved fiercely, and chose to continue. His true legacy is not measured in box office numbers or awards, but in the quiet strength that carried him through decades of joy and grief. He reminds us that survival is not about escaping pain, but learning how to carry it with grace. In choosing family over fame, peace over noise, and love over loss, John Travolta has written a legacy far richer than any role. And perhaps that is why, after everything, the world still loves him. Not for who he was on screen, but for the humanity he never lost off it.